Okay, y'all. So here we go. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Let's keep the ball rolling and get the momentum going. Now, tonight is the night, one of the most anticipated nights in our young year of boxing. We have multiple cards on today, and we also have this card, the main card for the night. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. Now, before we get into a fight breakdown, I would like to discuss something that Sir Teofimo Lopez had brought up at the beginning of the introductory press conference. I would like to remind you guys of this statement that he made. He claims that Devin Haney had no motion at the beginning of this press conference. Now, this press conference, if to lack of my memory, I remember this press conference was brought up prior to, maybe a week or two prior to the Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. WBO title 47, sorry guys, welterweight title matchup in Saudi Arabia. Devin Haney was challenging Brian Norman Jr. and a lot of people wanted to see Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez because that had been rumored to be a catchweight matchup at around 145 pounds, where Teo's title, WBO title, wouldn't be on the line. Devin Haney, who was champion in recess with the WBC, would not be challenging for the belt or defending a WBC title. It would just be a matchup that fight fans have been kind of debating over for the past 4 to 5 years. Teo made a statement when asked why that fight didn't happen in November or today. He said Devin Haney had no motion. Shakur was the one with all the motion, and that this fight was actually a better option for him going forward. Now, I would like to dispel this statement made by Teofimo Lopez because although we never got this due to Ryan Garcia losing to Rolly Romero in April, this fight here, outside of Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, this was probably the biggest fight that had happened within the past 3 years in boxing due to the ramifications of what happened. A rematch was also, and probably still is, the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. These two will forever be tethered together as long as the rematch remains dormant and remains vacant and is still up in the air. We know this guy, Ryan Garcia, will be fighting Mario Barrios. We know what Devin Haney did a couple of months ago. And who knows what's going on. Now back to this. There's rumors that whoever the winner is between Teofimo and Shakur Stevenson will be in line to face Devin Haney, which is why Devin Haney is a part of the broadcast. He's being featured because it's rumored that the winner will challenge for the title at 147 pounds. Shakur had alluded to also that if he does not get a big fight, we don't know what's going on with Gervonta Davis and his situation. He's out. Not too sure. Who knows if he'll ever box again, right? We don't know what's going on with that. There are no other big fights at 135 pounds. Shout out to Raymond Moitaya. Even though he just beat Andy Cruz, his name is not a box office name. So the only thing that, and nobody at 140 pounds is a box office name to sell like that as far as drawing power. So the only thing that makes sense right now is for Shakur, if he wins, is to fight his longtime rival, his name has also been mentioned with, in a conjunction with the guy he's fighting tonight, Teofimo Lopez, but to fight Devin Haney. But and the same can go for Teo if he so happens to be victorious tonight, fighting Devin Haney. So, with Devin being linked to Teofimo Lopez in the future, being linked to Shakur Stevenson in the future, being linked to Ryan in the future, being linked to Conor Benn in the future, being linked to potentially at some point in his career Jaron Ennis in the future, I could be Rolly Romero in the future. There are only but a few names in the sport of boxing that carry weight. And regardless of what the fans may say, and regardless of what the internet may say, the trolls, and regardless of what the bots may say, Devin Haney, his name is Debo now, because what he did a couple months ago, regardless of what you guys may think, he fooled a lot of y'all. He rocked y'all to sleep. It seems like he's the man at 147 pounds. Now, business-wise, Devin may not call the shots, because not everyone is pulling to fight him. It's not like a cash payday you'll get when you fight a Canelo Alvarez, or if we go back 15 years ago, Floyd Mayweather, right? But as far as name-wise, namesake within the pool of the talent, he is the biggest name. So for someone like Teofimo to say that he has no motion, my man, I'm one of the few people that, has great memory and recalls. You weren't running to fight Brian Norman Jr. You didn't want to do that. You may say that you weren't being paid enough or anything like that, but you definitely could have hit Turkey Al-Sheikh up and made that one happen for the dollar amount that you were looking for. So I don't want to hear that excuse at all. And you fought on a Ring Magazine card. So, as far as motion is concerned, I think Teofimo Lopez is sadly mistaken about what motion is. I don't know what motion may be. Let's just be honest. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Teofimo Lopez main event card, but if he's not tethered to somebody who has either international appeal, a strong fan base as is, he don't have the drawing power. This is only his second time boxing in the big building as a main event. The first time, I was there. It was pretty empty. And it was debatable if he even won. When he went to Vegas to fight Jermaine Ortiz on a Thursday, people talk about Shakur being in there, being at the F1 card in Vegas on a Thursday, Thanksgiving weekend, and stinking up the joint. But T.O. did the same thing. It looked like he couldn't sell out at McDonald's on during the lunch special for the children. So, who really has motion? Because if you can't sell in your hometown like Devin Haney does, can you really sell? And when I say his hometown, I'm talking about Florida, because it's a debatable whether he's from New York as well. So, I just wanted to clear that up. This could potentially be a matchup if T.O. comes through and gets the W. Or we could actually see Shakur versus Devin Haney, and that would be great too. Either fight could be one that all boxing fans will enjoy. Like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more. Peace.